Do the girls get arrested for prostitution? And then do they get assigned a probation officer? I mean, does that happen to them?
You know, yes, people can get arrested for prostitution, and the problem is also that there's not a specific help for prostitutes who are arrested.
Well, we're
you
going
know,
to build
especially
an organization then.
Yes,
right?
especially as they become adults. Especially, you know, then it's usually the drugs are involved too. So then they're getting arrested for the drugs and the prostitution and thrown into jail, and then it's court.
And then forgot about it.
And then there's no such thing as getting help. There are community
rehabilitation.
Yep, like you said, there are certain organizations. I know there's some good programs at Volunteers of America. Like you said, Breaking Free, where they help young girls. They walk around the streets and give condoms and tell them they can get help. However, it's not put into place with the legal system.
It's not,
and so I think it needs to be more open. It needs to be more talked about, and it needs to be a bigger push for those kind of programs to be interlinked with criminal justice.
Yes.
And hopefully, the more we can get it out there, the more involved and the more programs we get, eventually they can put them together, and there can be a specific rehabilitation program put in place versus just throwing them in jail.
That doesn't do any good.
No.
What good does it do to throw a young girl that's been conned by some guy to go to bed with this guy for money, to throw her in jail?
Exactly.
What has she done? What has she done? And that's another thing. If you're trafficked as a child, there's a different law than if you're trafficked as a woman.
Yep.
In other words, if you're over 18, they look at it differently. Well, why should they? The harm is being done, whatever age you are.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what ages they are. They need to treat that all as one.
And then the problem is when they come out, which, you know, that's the only lifestyle you know.
That's all they know.
Yep. And then the community doesn't understand how, well, if they got out, why do they get right back in?
Yeah.
And that's the problem. That's just people being naive and not knowing what people go through, and that's all they know.
It's so sad.
And it's right back out into the same life.
Sad. It's so sad. It's just sad because we need to get an organization and a place we need to have a place built, or need to get somebody to donate a building that you and I, maybe just you and I, can start.
A safe house.
A safe house for them. And we need a big building, by the way. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Some place where we can take them and even possibly take their pimp and put him in a different area and show him through a glass what he's really all about to this girl, so she can understand what he's really like. Because she doesn't really see, all she sees is the good things that he wants to show her and the fun things that they're going to have and the Cadillacs they're going to drive.
Yep.
She doesn't see what's down the road from when he gets ticked off at her, she doesn't make enough money and he starts beating her.
Mm-hmm.
I've got scars in my skull from many beatings. I was shot at with a gun in Vegas, out in Tonopah Highway in Vegas, to kill me. He tried to kill me because I wanted out of prostitution.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so much violence.
Yep.
You've seen the violence. I mean, what do you feel about all that violence that these women go through, and why do they stay with them? Is there a reason?
I think there's so much deep-rootedness from very young age and background, how they were raised. There's just so much deep down there that even the short amount of time that I get to work with them, there's no way I can even get near that root of the problem.
No, I agree.
So they need to have a place where they can get comfortable, trust somebody else. They're already going to have trust issues because of what they're already going through. So they need to feel comfortable with someone else where they can actually trust that they'll get protected.
Yeah, that's what they need.
And, as a probation officer, and I'm the one working in law enforcement, I'm not really the one that they're going to trust.
No, that's true.
Because I'm on the police officer is the one who took them and put them in.
Well, that's what they relate
exactly.
to you, but you're not that person that put them in jail.
No, we try to help. There's community resources out there. We try to point them to that direction.
That's what I thought. I thought that when they arrested, we'd take them to other places. I thought they got to go to other organizations out of the police department, out of jail, don't they?
Well, if they, if they go there, if they get referred, but it's not something that, it's not court ordered for them to go to a place, or, so that's really on them to go there.
So pretty soon what happens is that they get afraid of cops. Instead of being, maybe the police officer will help them. Pretty soon they're like, oh, I'm scared to death, there's a cop. That's a dirty word almost.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, how are you going to ever help them, because they're going to feel like you're against them.
Yep. And it is too bad, and police they're just doing their job. It's not.
Oh no, I know they are. No, I know.
And so that's the hard part. The
over
balance.
in Sweden.
Yep.
Okay, they passed a law in Sweden. They passed a law in Sweden that said, okay, we're going to make a buying of a human being illegal. And we're going to make purchasing a human being illegal. Yep. In other words, in Sweden, they changed the law. The parliament with 49% women, they changed the law in Sweden. And in Sweden, the laws are, it's against the law to buy a girl for prostitution, or man, whatever, boy or whatever. It's against the law to buy a human being for prostitution. And it's against the law to sell. That means the pimp.
Yep.
So what they did was, seriously, I've got documented proof, they, in a 2 years' time, they decreased their prostitution and street prostitutes and brothel prostitutes and lap dancing prostitution in the strip joints and the whole prostitution ring type to 89% went down in 2 year period of time. 2 years.
And the key was
they arrested the guy for buying and arrested the man for selling.
Instead of arresting the prostitutes.
They did not arrest her. She is not arrested. It is not an offense what she's doing.
Yep.
It is no offense whatsoever. It's no offense. It's not anything what she's doing. She could get help if she wishes. They do not lock them up anymore. They don't put them in jail. They ask them if they want to go to a safe house. They take them there. They teach them business. They give them classes in learning how to take care of their children, getting their children back with them. And it's a wonderful program. I've been trying to talk to different organizations in Minnesota to try to get that law passed here in Minnesota. If we could get it passed here in Minnesota, we could get it passed maybe possibly throughout the rest of the United States.
Yep.
Federally. Yeah. And that's the only way it's going to change.
Yep.
If we change that law.
How are you going to do it, Janie?
Well, you're going to help me. I don't know, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to try to do it. I think a bunch of people in Minnesota here. There's a lot of people in this state that would love to see that happen. And not just women. There's a bunch of men that would like to see that happen too, because nobody wants to see their young kids taken into this kind of life.
No.
Nobody wants to see their daughters put in prostitution.
No.
Or beaten. They beat them at the inch of their lives.
Yep.
They kill them. They probably accidentally, by smacking them around, they accidentally kill them.
Yep.
So have you ever met any of them that were beaten up badly?
It's hard for me to say exactly. No. That's something that kind of try to keep on the low. Yeah. Obviously, you can see the bruises and everything, but something they don't talk much about. No.
Which they should.
Yeah.
Because that's why they're doing it. Because he's threatening them. God bless their hearts. I hope to God they get help. I hope we can change this law.
Well, I definitely think it's helping with everything you're doing, with the attention you're giving it.
Thank you.
Obviously, continuing, I'm going to definitely have you continue to speak to my classes. And those are people who will be going into the profession to hopefully make the changes possible.
They're the ones who can make the change.
Yeah.
And over there, they put up $5.8 million to train their police force.
Yeah.
Did you know? I mean, this is documented proof. I got the papers. If you go and you look up on your websites or anybody out there, go to www.probation, Swedish prostitution law.
Yep.
There, it's right there in front of your face.
Mm-hmm. So, I really hope you continue to come and speak to my classes, and we can get the word out there and see what kind of positive changes we can make.
Okay, I agree. I will come and speak with your classes anytime, any day.
Well, thank you.
And I would love to have them come and let me interview them by themselves, too.
Absolutely.
If they would like to come in from your class.
Absolutely. That'd be great.
Be very good for them.
Yes.
And good for my new show.
Thank you for having me.
Well,